Welcome back to the Inspiration Experience. I'm Jeff Gum. We're with Black Oxygen and the one and only Riff Raff. They just did a collaboration on a song called Hollywood Nights. And how'd this collaboration come together?
Well, we met in Los Angeles at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and we had a show together. And we met at the show. The vibes were great, and we sent over Hollywood Nights. There was different artists who were hitting us up, and then we met Riff and sent it over to him, and he did his part on it, and it came out beautiful.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to fast. Mm-hmm. Y'all move fast on. We move fast.
It was good. I like the lyrics you put on it too, talking about Monty's and Runyon Canyon. When you got the song, what were you thinking about, like when you went to the studio and wrote the verse?
What do I think of when I'm on sunset? Like when I think of sunset? Like
yeah, for sure.
I just went through a story.
That's the vibe. It's the vibe. Like you're just out in Hollywood.
Yeah,
just
I wrote
doing
it and recorded all in like less than an hour.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah, Riff, you're a global star. What inspired you to? What pulled you in about Hollywood Nights to make you just want to work?
I heard it. You know what I mean? That night, and I was just like, y'all should. You know what I mean? We should do something. And then they're like, yeah, that song we're gonna do a remix. I was just like, send it over. Yeah, just knocked it out the next day.
Yep.
Sometimes when it's like that, like it's sometimes it just bees like that. But you know what I mean? When after you hear a track and you're just like, you know what I mean? You got an idea for it, just knock it out.
For sure. That's the best time to do it, when it's natural, when you're feeling it.
When people, usually if like somebody, I get like, like it's hard to keep up with so many emails or something like that. Right. Like, but like when you hear something in person, it's like, it doesn't matter if, like, it's not like, you don't have to be like outrageous. It doesn't have to be something that outrageous.
You know what I mean? That's like when it's organic and it just comes. Because when it's forced, the art doesn't come as much, And a lot of the songs that you write, a lot of times, like when I hear a song, it'll like come like in a dream or driving down the road. I was always curious, like when you remember hearing like Tiptoeing on My Jordans, all these songs that you made that have really inspired a lot of people. When you, as an artist, like, I was curious, artist to artist, so people out there know as well, maybe your process, like when you wrote all these songs, and I love a lot of your new songs. They're a lot of them are great. The Ain't Giving Up My Truck, and I think some of the best new music, is your new stuff. What's your process like when you, as an artist, when you're like, when you come up with the idea, does it like come all the song and the lyrics? You just got to get it down, or you get the beat? How does it go?
The beat.
Do you work with different producers a lot, or
yeah? The beat, like, I'm recently, like, now I'll like go into a studio and try to make something from scratch. But usually, I gotta like the beat first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I come up with the hook or something fast. But it's like, I'll come up with, it just depends. It's hard to.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people say it's like it's hard to just sit there and be like, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna make a song right now. It's like, it's not like that. I'm walking around all day. Like me sitting right here is probably the most sitting I do. That's in the car. But it's like when I'm moving around, I'm in motion. Like I walk like probably 10 miles a day. But like I gotta be like, I listen to beats all day.
Do you work out every day too?
I mean, in a gym, no. Like, but outside, like, I mean, I walk places. I don't like I wouldn't walk on a treadmill.
Yeah.
I know I got to be moving around, and when I'm moving around, ideas or a hook or something come to me.
Mm-hmm. I think what's really cool for everyone watching as well was, I actually didn't know exactly until I looked up some more facts, but I heard you were from Texas, and then when I remember I was talking to Ari, and then you guys on the group texted about we were going to shoot the video maybe in Florida, and then we're actually in Houston, Texas right now, everyone. So what I thought was really cool was, I realized that you're actually from here, right?
Yeah, Katy.
Okay, and I think that what's really cool as well is that I know you have a song, Jose Canseco, and tomorrow you're going to be back with us.
Home run derby with Jose Canseco, crazy.
So was he an influence to you? Like, you like baseball?
Like he was like, it was like Bo Jackson, Jose Canseco, Mike Tyson. Like these are like household names that are just like they make the sport fun. They look like it's just the essence of baseball. And then even to this day, Jose Canseco is
still
Shaquille O'Neal. Jose Canseco. It has a rhyme to it. Like it's just
that's true. That's true.
It's crazy.
At the game tomorrow, so you're supposed to bat with him as well as that.
Home run derby, yeah.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Is that
you play baseball?
I've been training. Yeah, I used to play baseball.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Now I just hit.
Oh,
nice.
That's awesome.
Cans.
Yeah.
Frozen cans.
So Black Oxygen signs with Warner Brothers Music. There's a lot of artists hitting you up to do collaborations. What inspired you about Riff Raff to be like, this is our guy. This is who we're going to collaborate with.
First. You know what? I just want to say I appreciate your inspiration.
Yeah. There
wouldn't be a Black Auction if there wasn't a Riff Raff. It's like we grew up and we love Guns N' Roses, NWA, Eminem, all types of music, David Bowie, and
everything.
And the one thing that I've always respected about your craft is I think that Riff Raff, to everyone out there, I think he's one of the most organic artists of our time because you have such a unique sound. But you also have a unique image and the way
creativity to it.
It's great. It's inspirational. So
sure.
It's like when we had several different artists that hit us up about the song, and when we met, I was like, you know what? I actually before kind of even like saw that possibility at some point working together, but we didn't cross paths before. And I was curious, and I think everyone else would be really interested as well. I remember hearing that when you started, you sold albums out of your car at the shopping malls. Yeah. You got an MTV and stuff. But when you had the dream, it's like, I believe if you work hard enough, anybody could make anything happen. And you've obviously, we're on the come up and you've made it. So it's like, was one day you were like, I'm gonna create this guy Riff Raff. He's gonna talk. He's gonna dress like this. He's gonna wear. What was that?
So when I was in high school, there was you know what Swisher House is. Mm-hmm. Swisher House.
Yeah, legendary.
It was Michael Watts and OG Ron C. When I was in high school, I've said this before, but people don't really know this. When I was in high school, like Slim Thug is older than me, Paul Wall, all these, they would be freestyling and they would drop tapes. I was still listening to those tapes, and I was friends with OG Ron C. And even though I wasn't a rapper, I would freestyle. And when I would be hanging out with Big Pick, there's Big Pick and there's Adrian Green, and I would be around, but not around like just constantly around. I was just a super fan of music.
Yeah.
And being from Katy, Texas, you could have like ride four-wheelers or there's trucks and stuff like that, but you're gonna go and find these new freestyles or CDs that are dropping like every Friday. There'll be something after the cap, Chop 'em Up 1, Chop 'em Up 2, Chop 'em Up 3, all these CDs. So like I was always, I'm a fan. Big Mo, when City of Syrup came out, that like those harmonies and stuff, that's like, to me, that's like how Nate Dogg would be singing hooks with Snoop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was Big Mo. So like I'm a fan of music and harmonies and the Swisher House. And so with like Ron C, he would chop, albums. And as time went by, he would start chopping my songs. And that's like Cherry Chupacabra. I was like, it's funny doing this, and I'm in Houston. It's like a full circle because I have Cherry Chupacabra album that's chopped and it's not out yet.
Oh.
And so it's like, I always have loved music. So for it to like, I feel like if somebody treats something like a job, if it's a job, I would say don't do it, because you're eventually going to hate it so much that you're going to have a mental breakdown or something, and then somebody's going to, like, you aren't going to want to do it.
Yeah, that's real.
Or somebody's going to give up.
Yeah.
So I've always been a musician. Regardless if I know how to do put together a stage show or build props or get my songs mixed and mastered properly, like I've always been a fan of music.
Yeah.
So I think if you're ultimately like, you love what you're doing, whatever that is, then you're going to do it whether the cameras are on or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So it's almost like then when that happens, when that's coming from your soul, it's gonna piece together, and that becomes like your path, or this like your destiny, or your, you know, it's not like I'm gonna go and be a chef today, and tomorrow I'm gonna be a, you know what I mean? I never saw myself as something of a title or something. But to this day, I mean, I could say I'm a musician, regardless of whatever social media and status and all that. I mean, that doesn't affect who I am.
It's about the journey, you're saying, right? It's about the journey. Is that what
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know exactly what I'm saying, but to answer what you were saying, or in response to that, it's like I didn't have a plan of I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna be this. No, I mean, ultimately, I'm a musician. I think people would have maybe a misconception or perception of me if they only saw funny videos or something where I was just having a good time fucking around with a cell phone or on a social media app that just came out. And that's me fucking around. But musician wise, I've over like 1,000 songs that are. Am I gonna walk up to you and be like, listen to my song? No. But if you were to rewind to when I learned how to make CDs myself and go sell CDs and learn about candy paint, and I meet a painter who can candy paint my car, and then I want to learn that. I learned that, you know what I mean?
Cool, yeah.
Like I get really into something that I'm trying to be, you know what I mean? More than a perception that somebody else thinks of me. Hey, look at me, I'm a rapper, think of me a rapper. No, it's never been that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't think I've ever tried to make someone perceive me as something.
You just being you.
Yeah. Real and raw. Yeah, real and raw.
You're just expressing in the moment what you are.
I've always had trouble, I think, expressing, not expressing myself. To be continued.
Was your family did they do music as well?
Mm-mm. But my mom, I'll take that back. Hold on. I didn't get paid by this brand yet. So.
he needs the sponsorship out there.
Tape it up.
Yeah. My mom has always been into music. She's always listened to music 24/7. When I was a kid, there was VH1 videos, MTV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That era. So it's like there will be music playing at all times, and during that time, you know, that if you had cable, you had to have cable to have MTV to see music videos. You had to. There was no internet. There was no buy a DVD, buy a VHS with videos on it. Yeah. It wasn't like that. So music playing 24 hours a day, whether she's cleaning the house or in the car, or you know what I mean.
For sure, yeah.
So that definitely has been there's something, and it's not just like it goes back to the internal part. Like it's like there's a piece of, you know, you're half your mom, half your dad, somewhere along the lines, and whatever breakdown they were of, like these characteristics of somebody's grandparents or their great grandfather was this, and then you have the same hustling business mentality of your great grandfather who started whatever, you know what I mean? So that part of my mom, I don't know where down the line in my family, but there was something very strong of musical, of the heart, though. You know what I mean? It got to be of your heart.
A natural gift. I remember Nick, one of the first times Nick saw you was on MTV, and you mentioned MTV. How did that happen where you landed your spot on MTV?
My cousin said, "Hey, there's these TV shows that are on."
I remember just seeing you got a tattoo, right?
There's these shows, and you can go on to MTV.com, and you could go to the casting. There's a button at the bottom, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, you could see what shows they're casting for."
Yeah,
and then you could. And she sent in my picture to like the email of like 5 different things. One was about like people who run away from home and they actually succeed or something. There was like a dating show or something, and then there was the G's to Gents one.
Yeah.
And she sent these in, and they responded on Gent's one, and they were like, "We're having a tryout thing in Atlanta. We'd love to meet him." So I was in Houston at the time, and then me and my friend flew out there to Atlanta for like a week, and then I went to the thing. And as soon as I walk in there, like people act like they already knew me, and then they were like, "Okay, sit over here," and then we were just chopping it up, and then they were like, he was like, "All right, we cut the camera," and then he stopped the camera. He's like, he stopped everything and pulled me to the side, and the dude was like, "Dude, like you like I don't really ever say this, but man, you are exactly what we're looking for on the show." I'm like,
"That's awesome."
I'm one of the producers on the show. Like I'm gonna make sure you get on the show. I was like, "All right, cool." So then before I went to, and then it was like in like a couple weeks later. So then I was like, okay, well shit. On day one of the show, I'm gonna already have a MTV tattoo. So boom, I went and got MTV tattoo. Then it was before I even got the email or something saying you're gonna be on the show. Since he already said this shit, I was like, fuck it, and then boom, tattoo. And then when I landed, then they had. Then everybody was like, "Oh, you have an MTV on your neck?" Da, da, da. Like, yeah. Like I'm MTV
for sure.
Like,
that's right.
That's dedication.
You're the product
right
of it. Yeah.
I mean, it was like, a piece of me was like, I've always watched MTV. I know all the MTV shows. You know what I mean? The music videos, the Beavis and Butthead. Yeah. Like, it's like I grew up with MTV. You know what I mean?
Totally, same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's iconic. Yeah. I remember like it was about 10 years ago now. I remember when I was going to the movie theater and with some friends, and we saw the movie Spring Breakers. And when I saw that, I remember thinking that like James Franco, his inspiration, I was like that was like the Riff Raff. And then when I was seeing the movie, and when the reason I'm bringing it up is in a positive form is because Jeff has a company, Gun Media Partners, and they did Stallone's Rainbow Last Blood. Jeff is top of the line movie producer. He's done Nicolas Cage's Primal, Tesla with Ethan Hawke, a lot of major films, and we're doing a movie together right now. But if there was, and my brother and I are producers for the company as well, but if there was a magic wand, I know a lot of people are fans of that movie, right? And if there was, a wand and we got the rights for it, and we could, if there was ever a reality to make a Spring Breakers 2 that starred Riff Raff with
that'd be crazy.
Who else would your dream cast be to have some people, and what I wouldn't give the storyline away because this could be a reality. We could possibly make a reality, but is that something you ever thought about in your mind? Do you have the Spring Breakers?
That'd be crazy. Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is I was with Harmony Korine. I don't know. People don't even know this. I'm not sure. Do you know that me and Harmony Korine were friends, and we were on the cover of magazines? And
oh, really?
Yeah, and I got to go to his house, and I was in the cutting room while they were editing, and I was with Harmony Korine while he was adding the sound score to the movie before it came out.
That's dope.
And James Franco.
Jeff knows James Franco.
Yeah, he if you were around him, I mean, he would buy my merch. I'd send him merch. On his birthday, he'd wear my shirts. He did a video where he was me for my.
Yeah. How did that happen? Did was like you guys built a relationship? He's like, I'll just show up.
We know a lot of the same people, but we never actually met in person.
Did he just call you one day and was like, you were like, I want to be in the video, and you just showed up, or how'd that play? How did James get the video?
Well, that part was after the movie came out. Yeah. And then how did that happen? So we had a mutual friend, I think, and we sent him a song. We said, would you do this? And then he said, and then he did it. And then so at some point, I think it was right around the time where it was like, or head to head or something like that. And then he was gonna, I forget what we were gonna do. We were gonna do something, but he said, but then I remember he said, if Hillary, he ended up deleting his Instagram because Hillary lost. I don't know. It was some shit happened. I forget. And then he didn't really promote the video, but Yeah, a lot of. I've I obviously had a lot to do with that movie. So for it to be Spring Breakers 2, I mean, we could probably get him.
Yeah, I mean, him and I did a film called The Vault together.
Yeah, James was in one of his films.
So, yeah. But the thing before that is, we went to the same acting school called Playhouse West way back in the day. I mean, this is like
I'm trying to
many moons ago, but we ended up working on a film together, which was cool.
Yeah, if there's a Spring Breakers 2, it's like
who would you see in it?
Well, I'd love doing it with my brother, but I was thinking too. I know you're friends with Simon Rex. He'd be great.
Yeah.
He'd be great, and he was great in that the new what was that new Zoe Kravitz movie called that she directed? I forget what it's called, but it was great. And
Blink Twice, is that right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. That was a great movie.
Yeah, that was great. But I was sometime privately. That'd be cool to hear like your idea of the story because we could.
Now that you bring it up, you know what I mean. We'll
piece something together.
Yeah.
What I think that I was looking at some interviews. I was curious if you had to pick like some of your top. Who was the top 3, 5 biggest artists that made you who you were that like truly like you like was really inspired by?
I mean, just off the top, I mean, Big Mo, A.D. Green, Swishahouse. I mean, O.G. Ron C. I mean, all the Swishahouse. Madonna.
Like 80s era Madonna, or
yeah, 80s era Madonna. Like if you like, we were talking a little earlier about the Jose Canseco, Bo Jackson, Madonna. To me, Madonna and Michael Jackson are icons.
Yeah,
like that to me, that's icon. Like she was. She's still Madonna. You know what I mean? But like. In that time, to be like top tier, it was just different. You know what I mean? And she was just like, I don't know, just this essence. I don't know.
And also, like I've listened. I noticed too, like some of your music has like some of the. I feel like an 80s vibe, and I
remember your new stuff. Yeah, it's really cool.
I like it. You listen to? I'll let y'all hear some of the other
Neon
ones.
Hong Kong. We were listening to that on the way.
Yeah,
I got stuff that's not out. That's like way.
Really cool.
I'll show you. I want to show you my new.
Just and also too, like real talk. Friend to friend. Just like just from hearing your music over the time, and then listen to some of the new stuff. I think my opinion to everyone out there. I think the best Riff Raff music is honestly the new music.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Giving up on my truck.
There's Stars on the Roof of My Car, all that. And what I was going to ask on that point, how did you come up with your new sound? How did you morph into that, or is that kind of something that's always there?
I'm always looking for the quality, like the mixing and master and that, And I've always, if somebody look back at even in my first albums, and there's songs on there that really, if the production was proper and it was mixed and mastered properly, it would sound like the stuff today. So it makes me be like, damn, I should re-record this because it didn't. Listening to now versus my quality or something like that has a lot to do with stuff. So then I think when you can get the quality of how you want it right, or it's up to the engineer, the production, but it's up to like you. If I was to do
all types of science to it,
if I was to try to do it, it's just like the timing of something has to. I have songs, like I said, like thousands of pieces of songs that aren't done yet, or just ideas, references that I go back to. Stars in the Roof of My Car, I think I had made a hook for it like 5 years ago, and I just didn't go back and. Neon Hong Kong, there's a lot of them that it takes years. Not like I'm sitting there really like stumped on it. It's just like I'll go back to it, and then sometimes I'll go back to it 20 times over the course of a few years, and I just nothing, and then I go back to it one time, and then write a whole verse for it, and it works out.
There it is.
And I have like 1,000 more of those that are like that aren't done yet.
Yeah.
But maybe in 3 years, 2 years, like so.
Yeah, there's a lot happening creatively inside Neon Hong Kong musically. That's just you don't hear that too often right now. It's just a really incredible sound. So
who produced that one?
Riff Raff?
I wrote the whole thing, but it's like, I'm trying to think who made the beat. Top Secret, we ended up making a lot.
Cool. On the unreleased songs, like, I remember seeing like...
Oh, Synthwave Sensei, I'm tripping.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, he's the one who made Ferrari.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, we have a lot of songs, and he's in my band.
Cool.
Jody and the High Rollers.
Yeah, I love that.
I gotta let y'all listen to...
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember... On the unreleased music note, I remember years ago, Justin Bieber posting a picture, and I saw like there was the video on YouTube, and it's like you guys are sitting in a car, and he's like rapping a verse, and the song sounds amazing. I don't think the song. Did you guys ever finish a song?
So that was a song Diplo was put together, and we never released that one. It was.
But it's done though, right?
No, it never got done, and it was.
Was he just rapping, like freestyle rapping in the car?
No. He did his verse, and it was already recorded. That was done. That song, it just never came out yet. I don't know. It was years ago, a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That was one of them ones that just never came out.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Me and Travis Scott had like 3 songs from 2013. It just sometimes I don't know.
Some of those old songs like that are in the vault or haven't come out. Do you think someday that they can, or is there like is there
everything's possible, you know?
Yeah. Anything's possible for sure. Sure. Like sometimes like what holds some of those things back from dropping those songs? Like just
could
the
be
management.
Clearances. It could be multiple producers, and one of them doesn't want to be a part of the song. It could be people can't agree on
all types of stuff. Not the music. Yeah. It's the hassle.
It could be something else. Yeah,
right.
It's like the movie business. It's complicated.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing a video too. Justin gave you one of his chains, right?
Yeah. Gave me a Versace chain.
That's hard.
I was looking for. My brother was there when that happened. I had actually broke his computer. And then he was like...
Broke Justin's computer?
Yeah.
Oh.
How'd you break it?
On accident. We were freestyling, and then the wire... I don't even know if I did it or not.
It just happened.
I tripped over the wire, but then it pulled the laptop off, and it landed, and there was a crack to it. And then like the security was like, all right, everybody else, da-da-da. And then he like snapped on because security's like, don't worry about it. And then like the music cut off for a second, and then he went to his room and he brought me a chain. He's like, man, don't worry about the computer. I spilled chocolate milk on it last night. I need to do one.
That's cool. That's cool.
I like that it's chocolate milk of all drinks.
Yeah, for sure.
Of all the drinks it is. Chocolate milk.
Out of
Justin Bieber's chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Chocolate milk too now.
That's right.
Nice.
When what was like how did it come together when you, I remember like, when you got your first major deal, and I know like that as far as like music goes, like, and the only reason I bring it up is not to touch on like past songs, but because a lot of people, when they think of Riff Raff, they think of Tiptoeing on My Jordans. I was curious, like when you made that song, did you know it was going to be such a big hit that it was? Like, what was the process like making that song, and did you turn it in the labels like this one, or what was that like? What was that?
Yeah.
The evolution of that song?
Yeah, I mean, I really made that, like a lot of my songs, I make them in less than an hour. You know, that was one of them. It was sometimes like the words just flow and I know exactly what to write. That was one of the...
And before that, you got... That's when you did your big deal before that album, is that correct?
No, that was that one. I mean, that album with Diplo, that was my first initial like album. I remember that was like my, people say breaking point or something, like you're like, to me it wasn't like being on MTV. That was good. That was great. You know what I mean? But that wasn't an album dropping with arguably the biggest producer, influencer of our time. He has an XM station. I don't know too many people with that XM station. You know, there's like Pearl Jam Radio, XM, but like Diplo is continuously producing. I mean, I have thousands. He probably has tens of thousands of songs that are unreleased that he has pieces with people. And he's always just every day traveling, every day. I mean, my brother works out with him, flies around with him. My brother does. But I mean, he's more music. He's as much music as me. Like, but he's way more famous now, than even back then. And he's not, but that, like, someone of his, music iconism, like, that's not even, like, if you erase all social media, is like to say he knows music and he's into music. You know what I mean? It's not just a fan. It's like he actually puts together music and on the highest level across the board, live performances, world music in multiple genres of music, just, top tier everything. And for him in 2011 to hit me up on Twitter and be like, hey, I need to get you to LA and we need to put an album together. I need to put, like, I see you're doing these freestyle videos. I see you doing all this. I want to put together a real album for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's
that was my, like, you're going over here. You know what I mean? Like, and I understand that doesn't happen for everybody. Some people grind from the bottom and then they don't ever get to get their own, get to be in
spotlight.
And he did that for me. So
yeah, that's super cool.
That's awesome.
That's super cool.
I know there's like a lot of people too, like that likes your songs, like with Katy Perry, and I love him too. What when you were making those songs, did you guys sit and make those together?
That was Diplo again.
Drop a verse.
Okay. The Justin Bieber was Diplo.
So you dropped the verse after?
No, I was right there with him, but it's Diplo being like saying to Katy Perry, like, hey, and she, and then we meet. And we.
Oh, that's how you guys met?
Yeah, every time. Yeah, we meet up and then we go to the studio and we're like, this, and then it just falls into place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Or if it was just.
Yeah. I mean, you've collaborated with a lot of people. From Wiz Khalifa to G-Eazy to. Well, what is there anyone out there like that you still want to collaborate with? Like, if you had to pick like three people that you've never worked with, that's on your list for anybody out there that sees this, like. Riff Raff, who do you want to collab with?
The Glock. Sarah McLachlan.
That'd be sick.
Sarah.
Nice.
I don't know if her nickname is the Glock.
I like it. It is now. That'll be her new name rebranded. Yeah. The Glock.
Sarah McLachlan. From the 80s. I'd have to think, but I would really want to. I want to work with writers and producers, like, and really being I've never had anybody write for me or be in a room and we're figuring out what words to put and building a song. I've never done that. Okay. Now, when we and Diplo work together, it would be with, let's say we're working with DJ Mustard or something, boom, they flip through beats, I pick one, go, but to really sit in a room and just like, in Nashville with 5 writers and then different instrument players come in and then we're building it. Oh, let's add this here and then do this. And somebody who's done that before and to be doing it, I would want to do an album like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be great.
Yeah, orchestra.
With live instruments and writers.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be
that'd be epic. That's like the most.
That would be like in my mind. What I'm trying to say is the way to go from Neon Icon and do a step above that and to get into a different whole level of that. It would be that going into the studio with writers and producers that have done it before, that have made platinum hits before.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing with all the pop stars. That's how they do it.
Yep.
For the most part, I mean.
What about you guys?
Awesome.
What few artists would you want to work with that you haven't yet?
I actually, the top one that I'd love to work with, I'd actually love to work with Justin Bieber. I think that, he's...
Me too.
maybe we'll do a song with them all together.
Yeah.
So Billie Eilish should be really cool too. But I mean, I love all types of music. So Riff, so one thing, like, like you're at this point in your career, is there something, advice you would go back and tell like the younger version of you 10, 15 years ago, like or are you at a happy spot where you've got in your life because that's who made you who you are?
Something like it's hard to say, what I would change or alter. It's like you gotta, what advice I give? Like,
on that note,
don't. This is very simple, but it's like to me, it's good advice. It's like don't go follow social media or trends or something to dictate what you as an artist want to build on your timeline. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like a lot of times people think it's time to you got to juice this fast. I got to do this because like, oh well, let's make a song like this because no, like, you know what I mean? That's for me. That's me. That's how what I would say.
Keep it authentic.
But that's if depends who you're talking to, because some people want to be whatever the most popular thing is. You don't let popularity like of society and somebody, because other people would maybe say that something like you have to be like of the times or something like that, like up to keep up with, like I don't think like that.
Yeah, you could be the new time. It's like, and it's like to everyone out there. I feel like even as ourselves as artists as well, you could build your own reality. It's like, I think that, like, stay true to yourself. And while we're on that positive note, I want to give you, we want to thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Very much.
And thank you.
Inspirational experience. But this is Black Oxygen Bang and Barbecue, our sponsor. It recently won a first place. But there you go.
I'm gonna put this on some vegan nuggets.
There you go. And before we go, Riff. So that brings me to my final question. We appreciate Riff Raff coming onto the show today. A great new musical friend of ours, and a lot of big things coming together with our new release, the Hollywood Nights remix. But I want to end this on a really inspirational note, as it's the inspiration experience. Riff, what would everyone that is out there, not even in music, but to the world, what would you tell everyone that to help them follow their dreams, to help them make them reality? Because we've all done that, and you've done that. What is something that you want to end it on for everyone out there, to tell everyone?
Well, inspiration.
So, some people say, like, you go outside of your comfort zone I feel like you have to do what makes you comfortable. Because if you're not comfortable doing it, how long until you quit? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to feel like whatever that is, the comfort part, like that's like, I feel like you have to kind of be seeking that, like whatever that the comfort is. Instead of somebody saying, jump out of your comfort zone, don't do that. I don't say that. I say, try to find what makes you comfortable and then aim towards that to get there.
Yeah, that's good advice.
And on that final note, the reason I asked that question was because I saw recently you were on an arena tour. I think it was a global arena tour with Limp Bizkit.
Yes.
Was that like a dream come true for you? Were you always a fan of Fred Durst?
Yeah, I've been friends with him. And
to get that call, what was that like? Riff, Fred, I want you to come on the tour to end it. That's like a major dream come true for you.
For sure. It was my best tour, and it's we have a lot more brewing. You know what I mean? Right now, so that's like. I'm glad you brought that up.
Fred's a legend.
Yeah. He's a musical genius. Like being around every day of how they, he's been doing it since before I've even stepped into a booth to record anything. He's been on MTV, doing the music videos, doing it from the ground up. I don't think he's ever put out a song that wasn't properly
it's great.
mixed and mastered. Like, you know what I mean? He's just so top tier of a music genius.
Yeah.
And to be around that, I mean, you just subliminally learn so much without even having to say or ask any questions. And it's just like, it's really easy. He's really easy to be around.
Yeah. I was stoked when Ari's Riff's manager. Ari's like, I sent this song to Fred, the Hollywood Nights remix, and he said he loves it to hit. So that was like, I told Nick after Ari told us, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, Fred's stamp. I mean, what gets better than that?
Yeah.
But,
for sure.
Thanks so much for coming on, buddy. We really appreciate that. And I think this song's going to be a big hit.
Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
Thank you, bud. We appreciate it. Great things to come together. Black Oxygen, Riff Raff, Jeff Gum, David Nick Lyle. Out. Peace.